So yeah, if you're anything like me, you've been sort of sat around for a long time now hoping to get out and take photographs and just haven't been able to. So yeah, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated with not being able to get out and take pictures. In the UK, of course, that is. Other parts of the world may have a different situation. I'm running out of new raw files to process. And most of all, I'm frustrated because I'm running out of content for you guys. So I have my last two photographs to show you today. That's my last two before I plan my next trip out with the camera. These were taken at the end of December, maybe the first couple of days of January, but that was it. That was the last time I went out. Everything you've seen since then has been produced in my office. So the first photograph I'm going to show you is of this close-in of the photograph. And to be honest, I'm not going to say too much about it other than it came about by taking another photo. So before that, I just want to sort of go into a few more things about the channel. First of all, thank you. During all the upheaval and all the disappointment and at the beginning of 2021, when we all expected that this would be the beginning of a new year and things would be completely different, it just didn't deliver that to any of us. But you've continued to support me and continue to support my channel. Subscribers at the moment, I'm very, very close to that 1,000 subscriber mark. It's very, very important to me that we get there. I think the 1,000 subscriber point is an important milestone for all new YouTubers. I've already gone past the 4,000 watch hours. What does that mean? To the users that don't know, it means that my supporters and other people watching my channel have consumed 4,000 hours in 365 days watching my content. That's staggering to me personally. That's a staggering amount of support that I've seen. So every subscriber that subscribes, every comment that you send me tells me a little bit more about what you want. So don't be shy, put those comments below and tell me what content you want to come from me now that I can go out in the field and shoot it for you. So let's have a look at the last photographs that I took. And we're going to do that starting out in the field. I've got one piece of video footage left that I can show you that you've not seen before. It's only short, it's not the best in the world, but you know what? It just sets the scene and tells you about where I took these photographs. You know, before when I've said about how sometimes it's really interesting to sort of go in on the details, and the more time you spend at location, you find the smaller details, the more intimate bits in the landscape that you're really sort of attracted to. Well, I've found from this position here that there's a rock down in the foreground, and with the falls behind it, it makes for a really nice detailed close-in picture. So I've taken a few of that, but what I found is that if I zoom back a bit more, I could have this wall leading me in and balanced by the wall on the other side, just the falls themselves and a slither of sky just above it that's getting a little bit dark and moody right now. So that's actually come over and worked out quite well. I think I can turn it into quite a nice sort of like moody, wintry, dark moor scene. And I've sort of underexposed for the sky, and hopefully I can get that dark sky in there. But what I've also done is I've been working on it to try and make sure I get the shutter speed right, and also I needed to focus stack as well. So I've had to take a combination of different pictures, focused at different points along this wall so the lead-in's nice and sharp, and also so that I've got the correct shutter speed, and also that I've got the correct exposure for the sky. So it's quite a little bit of post-processing work to do and things put together. So I'm just going to take a few more close-ups of this rock, and then I think that might be it, but you never know. I just keep finding more and more exposures. Now, none of the pictures that I've taken on that day were real portfolio pictures, but they were good in that they enabled me to show good examples of how you can change an image by altering viewpoint and zooming in on some of the details and really telling those stories, which is something I really advocate when you're out in the landscape. In fact, I advocate it when you do any type of photography. Try and involve some storytelling, some narrative to take people along the journey with you. And in this video, in fact, I've got it here in the iPad in front of me so I can look at it whilst I talk to you about it. So in this picture, really, it's about some details in the landscape, and the more that I looked at it, the more that I wanted to zoom in on one of those details, and we'll look at that in a minute. So on this first photograph, I can see how we zoom in and how the picture's bordered nicely by the rocks on the left-hand side, and it gives you a nice dark sort of bottom left-hand corner. And in the top, with that rock up there and the granite just to the right of the waterfall itself, you've got a nice sort of dark area up there as well, which sandwiches this flow and movement of the water in between, some nice textures on the waterfall itself. I've got to be honest, I did have to put on graduated filters and do quite a bit of editing inside of Lightroom to get some detail back into that sky, because it was quite blown out. And obviously here we've got some dark shadows and some bright highlights as well, so I worked hard to hold those things just in between as I wanted them. But I was happy with it. I was really quite happy with the wider view and what it showed me. And so that brings me to the second picture, really, when we talk about that storytelling. In the second picture, I'll put up on the screen for you now, there's a nice sort of zoom in. Now I've used a 5x4 crop on this as well, and it zooms right in on the detail of the waterfall in the background. There's something about the texture of moving water, those straight lines falling over rocks, dragging down, that really sort of get me excited in a photograph. And I like the way that they interact with the rocks and the boulders and the stiller, darker water around it. So I zoomed in on this picture, on this rock. I still wanted to retain the waterfall in the background and that wash of water in the foreground as well. But just having that dark solid object on that left hand sort of third almost draws your eye into the picture, and it gives you something to look at. I like the way it glistens and it has that wet feel to it. And these are the sort of things that I look at when I go out in the landscape, the sort of details I try to pick up on. So it can be that the simple change of viewpoint and the simple change of focal length from what was maybe a 24 or a 50mm image, you know, going up to 150 and 300mm and even beyond with your landscape photography can make a huge difference. So sometimes the part of the story that you're missing in that narrative that you're trying to produce is right at your feet. And it's just a matter of stopping and looking. In this image, I've also dropped the clarity a little bit to give it a softer, more ethereal look, to make it feel that you're actually looking at let me put that again, to make it feel a little bit more dreamlike, a little bit more less harsh and unsubtle. If that's even a word, unsubtle, I don't know. But I wanted it to look that way. And that's what it was all about. So I'm off to plan my next shoot tomorrow morning. I'll be getting up nice and early and getting out before other people sort of get to the location I'm going to, because I think it might be a little bit popular. And hopefully that will be the beginning of new content for this channel. And I'm planning to sort of film maybe 2 vlogs tomorrow if possible, if that goes well, and bring those to you over the next sort of like couple of weeks. My fingers are really crossed for the weather, because the weather forecast at the moment isn't good for tomorrow. I'm seeing lots of squally showers and rain, probably some grey periods, maybe a little bit of sunshine thrown in, and I really don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to try some photography around a local river and a woodland, so I've got no idea how that's going to work out. We won't know until we get there, so I will do some planning and hope for the best. Whatever way it's going to be, I'm going to be really grateful for getting out and having that adventure. I just want to say one final thank you to you, to new subscribers, to old subscribers, and to everybody out there who isn't even a subscriber, who has contributed to those 4,000 watch hours. Within a couple of months, we'll be well past 1,000 subscribers and going on towards better things. So thank you. If you enjoyed this video, then obviously please give it a thumbs up and a like, and consider subscribing. If this video wasn't exactly for you, it's not like my normal content. My normal content that I want to produce is out there in the field, bringing new ideas, new tricks, new tips to you guys. So have a look at some of my older stuff, and maybe then I'll join you in a new video in the future. So like I said, time for me to go and look at the new video, put some plans together and see what we can come up with. Thank you. I want to share more knowledge, more skills, more passion and stories about photography with you. So think about subscribing. If you do, ring the bell. It will make your subscription count. If you have time, comment. I will see you on the next video. So get out there and enjoy your photography.